What is up everyone, SuperaTom here, and in this quick guide video, I will be showing you the best difficulty settings for the second domain in the Energy Amplifier event, some team setup recommendation as well, and then some good Energy Amplifier stone that you should go with for this domain. And after that, lastly, some combat tips so that you have an easier time in the domain. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Now here's the best setting for you to go with for the second domain. First, you choose expert difficulty as usual, then you tick less than 600 seconds on the timer. You go for opponent HP increased by 200%, opponent electric resistance increased by 50%, and pyro increased by 50%. All party member movement speed decreased by 15%. And then you take all party member energy recharge decreased by 30%, and when active character HP is lower than 50%, your movement speed decreased by 20%. That's all, and we'll leave the rest as it is. That should give you an exact amount of 5,000 points while being able to avoid most of the buff being given to the domain. Okay, here's the team setup recommendation for this second domain, and I have to say that MiHoYo cheated a bit on the second one because this domain actually favors Ganyu and Venti. So MiHoYo's probably trying to say that if you miss out on those two characters, you will probably have a much harder time. And here's why. First, it has an electro circle that binds you to stay within an area. If you go out, you continuously zapped by lightning. Plus, many of the enemies will actually stay outside of the circle area during combat, so here in this case, bow and catalyst user will have the best advantage. Secondly, there are a lot more small monsters here than the first domain, so skill that actually groups enemy together will have an advantage, and in this case, that's where Venti's job comes in. And then thirdly, some of the best new energy stone for the amplifier you get in the second act are actually for bow users. However, that doesn't mean that it's impossible to get through this without Ganyu and Venti. So here's a team recommendation without these two characters. What you would want is one Hydro character, that could be Xingqiu, Barbara, or Child if you have him. One cryo character because we'll be utilizing the freeze reaction for this domain, and this could be Chi-Chi or Diona. Diona can be one of the best in this case if you have already managed to build her, because she can be a substitute for Ganyu for this domain. And of course, if you have Ganyu, that should be where she fits in. And finally, you'd want to have one or two good healer, because again, you can't survive long in expert difficulty without good ones, and Chi-Chi, Jin, or Barbara would be best in this case. Also, for you to have an easier time in the domain, it's best that you have at least one bow or catalyst user, because as we've known, this domain favors ranged weapon. So if you don't have Ganyu, then you can switch that for Ningguang, Ganfei, or Sucrose, which is a substitute for Venti. Now, here are some good energy amplifier stone recommendation. First is the Hunter's Rock or the purple stone. Even if you're not using a bow DPS with continuous charge attack, it's still recommended to defeat an opponent with a charge attack because it gives you 35% charge attack increase for the whole team for 60 seconds, plus it stacks for 5 times. Next is Timely Rain, and as I've mentioned, we'll be utilizing freeze reaction in this domain because of this stone. Song of Steel is another good one for 30% normal attack increase. Frostbite for 30% damage increase on cryo affected enemies, and then Emboldened 40% normal attack increase for 20 seconds after elemental burst. And then lastly, this can be depends on your main DPS. If you're using a bow DPS, then Iron Bow is hands down the best. Hitting weak spot gives you a 50% crit rate boost for normal and charge attack. And then if you're not using any bow DPS, then you can actually just choose whatever is the best fit for your team. Okay, and then lastly, some battle tips, because I want you to win this as easily as possible. There will be 3 waves, and for the first wave, you will want to focus on the 2 Electro Bow Helitro first, then move on to the Pyros line because you do not want to get distracted by their arrows. Wave 2, you will kill the Hydro Samancher, then the Geo Samancher, and then after that the Pyro Helitro. After that, you go for the rest of the mob. And then for wave 3, you will see some Fatui members. Get the Electro Hammer guy first because he will stay within the circle with you. After you're done with him, then focus on the 2 Pyro Gunner outside the circle because they will not go inside, and you don't want to have to fight the Electro for 2 alongside with the 2 gunners. And then lastly, foot buff are available for you to use, so don't forget to use them. So that's all for my quick setting guide video. I hope that helped you to get a higher score for this event, and if it did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more upcoming guides videos. Let me know down in the comment section though if you have any question, and I will get to you there. With that, this is Tom wishing everyone a super day.